All right, friends. I think we're live now, finally. Can you hear me now? Oh my gosh. Hey, Samantha, can you hear me now? I just hit the go live button. I think I had to tap one more button before it would actually go live. You should be able to hear me now. Um, Still no sound. That's weird. Do you hear it, Terry? Okay, yes, I hear you now. Okay, all right. According to my wife, we are able to hear now. What's going on, my barbecue loving friends? We've had some challenges getting going today. Thank you so much for your patience. Appreciate all of you guys and gals for hanging out with us. Thank you for waiting and not running off yet. I have a brand new laptop that we bought a few months back. Just for whatever reason, it kept kicking me off of the Wi-Fi, and the Bluetooth wasn't working, and the mic wasn't working. I couldn't get that thing to work for nothing, and I tried for like 15 minutes before we started. Um, so anyway, then I tried it on my phone. I couldn't get the code to log in, and so I had to go get my big desktop, my iMac from my bedroom to be able to come over here and do this with you guys. Thank you guys again so much for your patience. Thanks for hanging out with us. What's everybody doing today, man? We've been running and running and running for the last few months. That's why we haven't done hardly any lives. Thank you, everybody. We got Alex Sam. You were first one in the house. Thanks for coming with us. G-Man, Roger Begg, EJ Balmans, Cat Scratch. How you doing, brother? Samantha, thank you. You're doing an awesome job for us. Guys, y'all see Samantha Cherry there in the comments section. She is our distributor. Y'all wait, give her a big wave, send her some hugs and some hearts. She is our distributor in the Central Texas, New Braunfels, San Antonio area, on all the way up I 10 to Houston. So if you guys know of a store or a market that should be carrying the Wow and the OG rubs, she's the one you want to reach out to, or me myself, and I'll tell her. But thank you, Sam. You're doing an amazing job for us. We really appreciate you. Um, Fast forward 20 years, EJ Baum says they were throwing away until I explained what it was and showed them your type of girls. Thank you, EJ. Appreciate that, brother. Um, anyway, super excited, Samantha. I'm glad you're here with us today, too. Be safe driving home. I know you're on the way home today. And Pan- La Panteria support. Thank you for the congratulations. That was really my main reason for coming live today with you folks today. This morning, literally this morning, we were watching a show, and we crossed the 100,000 subscriber mark today. And we're just like super excited, super honored, super humbled. Thank you to all of you who have subscribed to our channel. I wanted to say thank you today, and I'm going to celebrate with a big glass of water. Thank you guys so much, so much. We couldn't do it without you guys. Um, so thank you all. Thank you all so much. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. Wanted to say that first and foremost. What do you guys want to talk about? Y'all got any questions? I think I had titled this my favorite way to cook barbecue or something like that. I can't even see my title to this thing. I'm not a real techie guy, folks. I have a team that helps me with all of our videos and with our posts and some of the reels, and it's my family. But it's all good, and but I can do some stuff. But today was a challenge for sure. I've never had so much trouble getting live. Hello, Gary Turner, Edward Gomez, Cat Scratch, Chapa FM. Is that what it is? Chapa FM? Chapa FM. Thank you. Appreciate that. Lydia, thanks for hanging out with us. Appreciate all of you guys. EJ CSP. I think I said that right. What's up, buddy? Daryl, Tew, some of you, NPR forever. And thank you for hanging out with. Hey, Greg, what's up? Greg Velasquez, you ready for Lockhart, brother? How you doing? Are you getting geared up? Are you ready? We're excited. Sure hope nothing gets in the way and we can make it out there next week. Hey, Daniel, how you doing, brother? Daniel Zamora, good to see you here. Thanks for hanging out with us, brother. David Belcher, Jason, thank you for the comment, liking our videos. We try real hard. I have a team. It's me, my wife, and my two kids. That together we are a team, and we make it happen, man. And my mom, she helps us cook too. Thank you guys all for all the nice comments and words you say about my mother. Except when you say she looks younger than me. I don't like that, but it is what it is, right? She's a very nice, young looking woman for her age. I guarantee you that. She's a pistol, man. She's a chilindrina, we call her in Spanish. She's go gadget all the time. She never slows down, man. She's 80 years old. She drives to Falfurrias from Edinburgh, from McAllen, where we live now, all the way to Falfurrias, about an hour and 20 minutes away to go see my brother and my niece and his wife. So yeah, man, she's a go gadget for sure. Sylvia Flores, thanks for hanging out with us. Appreciate you. And I remind you of someone that you knew that was from Kingsville, and I cooked just like him. Well, I'm sorry for your loss, Sylvia, but I'm glad I have that I remind you of some good memories. Thank you. Edward Gomez, Pamela Miranda, thank you. Appreciate it. Cold and snowy in Flagstaff, Arizona. Wow. Cold and snowy in Arizona. How about that? We don't have that here yet. It has not gotten very cold. Hello from Fort Worth. Sarah Thomason, thank you for joining us. Appreciate that. Getting ready for some bad weather. We don't have any bad weather coming our way, at least not anytime soon. Daniel, how you doing, brother? How do you like that charcoal, man, that you got the other day for ProPit? I'm guessing you probably liked it pretty good. Joel Rodriguez, thanks for hanging out with us from Brick Springs. Scott Moore. Be a little too many. Woof, man, I can't keep up. Thank you all. I'm just going to say thank you, every one of you guys. What do y'all want to talk about? I wanted to say thank you, first of all, for hanging out with us and for helping Team Arnitex to get to the 100,000 subscriber mark. It's been a hell of a ride this year. Been super awesome, super fun. We're having a great time making these videos for you folks. I feel honored that I can share some of the cooking techniques and some of the cooking recipes that I know and that I know how to do. I sure don't know everything. I'm not the best in the world, but what I do know, I like to share with you guys. And I'm just glad that you guys appreciate it and that you guys follow us and that you enjoy what we put out. Thank you so much for all the messages and the emails. We appreciate all of you guys. How about some asado? El Paso. Let's see who's this. Junior Shrey. How you doing, sir? What are you up to? Y'all still cooking with your mom? Yes, every day almost. When she lets me have the kitchen to myself, I cook. Sometimes I let her cook. We both cook. We love to cook. She likes to cook, and I like to cook too. How about some asado, Argentina style with chimichurri? That's a great idea, and that is something that we enjoy trying to do. I guess it depends on what you mean by asado. Today I fired up my javelin grill. We went out, ran around, dropped off spices and rubs, and did some stuff. Came home and Terry wanted some grilled chicken thighs, and I felt like fajitas, so I got some propit charcoal logs. I threw them on the javelin, and I threw some mesquite chunks in there and got it fired up. And basically the same style. I've got an open fire pit, and I threw some fajitas and some chicken on there. Made a little molcajete salsa with chile piquin. And man, I had me a really good taco of fajitas. Terry had her chicken, which she had been craving for a few days. So yeah, man, we did that. But I do need to make a video, share with you guys the little bit that I know how to cook that way. Now, glad you brought that up, country. We are working and recording in the next few days, and it'll be out probably somewhere between now and the end of the year. A video on open fire cooking. I have 3 open fire pits. One of them is the bullet, the small one, and then I have the big bracera. We call it a bracera, the big half. It's a half pipe, 24 inches wide and about 32 or 34 inches long, I think it is. That was my first open fire pit that I got this year, or actually late last year. And then I got the bullet, and now I have the javelin, which is a bigger, taller square box. So we are going to record a video. We've been planning to do that for some time. We're finally going to get to record that here in the next few days. So I'm going to come up with either 3 or 5 or 10 tips or things you need to know to be able to cook on an open fire grill, which is basically, like you say, asado. Argentina style. And of course, Argentina is not the only country that does it that style. There's a lot of countries that do it right here, just here in Mexico, across the border from us. I've been we used to ride our dirt bike down there in Monterrey and Saltillo and all that area down there in the mountains and the canyons. And there's a lot of people that cook that way just down the road from us here. So we are going to record that video. I'm going to show you guys all three of the open fire pits I have. I'm going to show you how I use them. I'm going to tell you the do's and don'ts. At least what I know, and I'm not saying I'm the biggest expert. I have cooked that way most of my life. Kind of got away from it when we got into the competition world and started traveling around Texas and cooking all over the place. Pretty much 40, 43 events a year, high 30s on some years. So, when you're running that hard, you just don't have time to do some of the fun stuff that you really enjoy doing, like open fire cooking. But now that we've settled down some and we're focused in a little different direction with the American Pitmaster Company and the barbecue rubs, we will be recording more videos about that as well. Cat Scratch, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Thank you so much. Yes, y'all hit the thumbs up. Appreciate it. Thank you, Tommy Garcia. Thank you, everybody. If you guys got any other questions, ask away. I'm trying to, my wife is trying to kind of help me monitor any questions you guys may have. Chico, California, Arturo, thank you so much. Appreciate you hanging out, guys. Got to get to HEB, EJ. Yes, sir. One of these days, we're going to get that charcoal and our rubs to HEB. That is something in our long-term plan. For sure, it would be an honor to be in there. In the meantime, I have Samantha Cherry in San Antonio. She distributes all the way up to New Braunfels and the whole I was saying the whole San Antonio area. My screen cuts out every once in a while. And she does drive up I-10 to Houston. Today was her Houston route. I just talked to her on the phone a little while ago. She said she had a phenomenal day. So that's what we're doing. I have Cage Unlimited that we just brought on our team this week. And he has a lot of stores that I'm not in right here in the Rio Grande Valley. And so he will be helping us get into more stores and getting our spices and our rubs and the Pro Pit charcoal closer to your house, wherever you live in the Rio Grande Valley. And I believe all the way up to Rio Grande City is where Carlos runs Cage Unlimited. Carlos Garcia is the owner of Cage Unlimited. So he's going to be helping us out, folks. Y'all, thank you for your patience. Appreciate y'all wanting to get our stuff closer to your home. We are working on it. I am looking for somebody to help us in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. That's a humongous market. I've been doing a couple of stores in Austin when we go see our kids up there. But obviously, I can't get up there all the time or even often enough. But a big shout out to Rocky Nay Grilling Supplies up there in Hutto, Texas, and Biggs Meat Market in Buda. You can find our products there. Thank you guys for supporting us and carrying our products. We appreciate you guys and we love y'all. Small town Texas here. Thank you, Tommy. Appreciate that, brother. Let me see here, folks. Y'all bear with me. I'm trying to see if I got any other questions so we can address them. Hello from Washington, D.C. Hi, Angela. Thank you for hanging out with us. All right, here's a good one. Let's talk heat control and management with a basic grill. This is from the Tomás Preciado. Tomás, that's always a really good question. And at the end of the day, it really depends on what type of grill you're using. Every grill has its own little idiosyncrasies. It has its own little hot spots, or what I call a personality, the way that it likes to run, the way that it likes to cook. The Weber kettle has certain little idiosyncrasies, and it likes to run with very little air on the bottom and either 3/4 or wide open on top. That's the way I usually run my kettle. You can put a lot of charcoal in there, and as long as you have your settings there, that kettle's going to run beautiful. If you have a PK grill, which I have one of those too, I generally run the bottom vents pretty much wide open, and I control the top also, just like I do in the kettle. That one's a little closer to the fire, so it's a little more challenging. Drums run on very little air, but they have these humongous baskets, so that's why they can run with very little airflow for anywhere from 15 to 22, 23, 24 hours. I've heard guys run them that long before. I've never ran mine that long. Haven't even tried to. Haven't felt the need to, or I haven't had the need to, but I've heard people do run them like that all night. I just haven't had to. Fire control and management. Really, at the end of the day, there's three things. It's fuel, which is your charcoal, or if you're a stick burner, it's sticks, logs. Um, so it's charcoal, sticks or logs, wood chunks, and so you have fuel and air, and then you have your meats. And keep in mind, depending on what grill you're cooking on or what smoker you're cooking on, the more meat you have in there, that is going to hinder and or I want to say redirect your airflow. If you don't have any meat in there, that heat's going to come out of the firebox. For example, on a stick burner, it's going to flow straight across your grates, and it's going to kind of more or less move around inside your barbecue smoker, and then it's going to come back down and out your exhaust. If your exhaust is in the middle or the bottom or somewhere toward the top, if your exhaust is up on the top, it's going to go straight up, straight across, and out. You're not going to have a really good even heat on your grate. So most of your stick burners will have the exhaust at the grate level, some a little bit below, some a little bit above, some a little bit of both of those, so that they can get heat all the way across. So really, again, it's fire management is fuel and it's airflow, and then you've got your meats in there, which can hinder the flow of air. So it depends what you're cooking on. If you have a lot more meat, it's going to take a little bit more airflow. It's going to take a little bit more heat. Remember that when you put your meats in the grill, and if they're cold, it's going to bring down the temperature on your gauges. And even though you have the same fuel and the grill said 300 degrees or the smoke said 300 degrees, before you put the meats in there, the temperature's going to come down. And that kind of psychs people out, freaks them out, because the temperature's down and they're trying to get it to run hotter. But in reality, the fire is okay. It's just that cold meat brought the ambient temperature inside the grill or the smoker down for a little while. Once the meat everything gets back to normal. So fire control, heat control management on a basic grill is that it's just airflow and fuel more than anything. And so I hope that helps you. Depending on what kind of grill you have, really. Thank you, Greg. Appreciate the congrats, brother. Thank you so much. Salinas, California. Thank you, guys. I hope that answered your question as best as I could without knowing exactly what grill or smoker you're talking about. It's kind of hard to be a little more specific. Hello, Jesse, Porter 956. Thanks for hanging out with us, buddy. Um, do I enjoy music when cooking? Anytime I'm cooking, I like to have music, not just when I'm cooking, even when I'm prepping in the kitchen. If I'm making breakfast or lunch or whatever in the kitchen, I like to have my music on. If I'm outside working on something, if I'm doing yard work, if I'm just sitting around drinking a beer or a drink, I like to have music. Yes, I enjoy music. I'm very eclectic on my music. I like Tejano. I like country. I like old school rock and roll. Not so much some of that super duper heavy metal stuff. I like classic rewind on Sirius, deep tracks. I guess it depends on what kind of mood I'm in, really. But yes, I do like music. Where can you find my rubs and seasonings? Fort Worth, Sarah. I think we messaged earlier or yesterday. I don't have a store up there yet. I would love to find a distributor or somebody that can help us find a couple of stores to get it in up there. I need to get it up there some way somehow in some different stores. So if you have any help or any ideas, shoot them to me at info@arnietex.com or send me a message on Facebook. We are working on it. We're still a fairly new company, folks. We've only been in business for a year and a couple of months. So I think September was our birthday, 1 year anniversary. So we're growing fairly quickly, considering that we just started. But we are growing, and we will eventually get to all these places. But remember, it's just me and Cherry, and so we're new at this, so we're getting there. We're getting there for sure. Samantha, Cherry, and Carlos for Cajun Limited have definitely helped us, and will continue to help us. So we'll get there for sure. If y'all got any places where we should be that you think we should, again, send us an email to info@arnietex.com or send me a message on Facebook. The email is really, really much better because I put everything in a folder there. Messages on Facebook, they get buried, there's no way to really categorize them. I know it tells you can, but it doesn't work the same as email. Hello, Scott. How are you doing, Scott Moore? Fire up the grill, fire up the pit. I did earlier today. I'm not sure, Daniel, when my next class is. we've been so busy that we just have not been able to schedule anything. Me and Balde over at Prophet talk continuously. I was there again today, and now that the weather's cooled off, we were discussing that we want to do some more stuff like that, some more backyard classes, and just general cooking in general, and invite people over to come hang out at the store and test some of the rubs that I have, test some of the rubs he has, try out his grills and see how they work, and we can answer questions there as well. Propane or charcoal? Um, Token Daily 710. Well, I don't have a gas grill, so that answers that question right off the bat for me. But remember that everybody's situation is different. Um, I've been fortunate that I've always had a big enough property where I can have 20, 30, or 50 barbecue grills and smokers of all sizes, shapes, and colors, and trailers and all that sort of stuff. And I've had them all. I live in a smaller town property now, a little lot here in town in McAllen. And so I still have a bunch of barbecue grills, but they're all jumbled up under my porch. I need to expand my porch again or sell some more. But really, as far as propane or charcoal, it just depends on your situation and what you like to cook the most. I'm going to vote for charcoal all day long. However, gas grills do have their place. If you live in an apartment or in a townhouse, or if there's a burn ban where you live, a gas grill, and if you mostly cook steaks, fajitas, you know, quick, hot and fast stuff like that, nothing wrong with a gas grill. It has its place. Um, my preference for hot and fast stuff, if I'm not using charcoal, is going to be my RegTech Bullseye because I can hit a button on that and I can be cooking in 10 minutes at about 600 or 700 degrees. And I do prefer that flavor over a gas grill. But again, like I said, it really depends on your situation. I don't have anything against anybody for using a gas grill. If that's what works for you, then that's what works for you. And just cook cat scratch. Um, okay, yeah, we are working on that video for sure. Um, Thank you so much, Junior. I really appreciate that, sir. Thank you very, very much. Let me move along here. Hello, Luis Castro. Luis Castro. Parrilla, Venezuela. Thank you. Mucho gusto. Saludos from Texas. Pamela Miranda says, can't wait to see more videos. Thank you, Pamela. Appreciate it. How about how about your favorite breakfast egg recipe? Smoked, grilled, whatever, omelet. Man, I'm pretty eclectic, man. Like my music, I rarely have the same breakfast twice in a month. Much less in a week. I love, love, love over easy and bacon. If I'm going to say I have one favorite meal for breakfast, it's going to be over easy and bacon. Simple, of course, with a tortilla or two and some fresh homemade salsa. That's probably my favorite breakfast. And I'm going to say it's right up there with barbacoa, a little refried beans, a couple of over easies, and again some fresh salsa and tortillas. Man, that's heaven on earth right there, man. When it comes to eating Sunday breakfast, but I don't eat that all the time or as often as I would like to. I'm a little older now. I'm 61, so I do, and we barbecue a lot. So I do have to watch my meat, my beef intake, my barbecue intake, and my meat. I do make an effort, and my wife makes an effort, especially to try to help me stay a little bit healthy as much as possible. Fortunately, God gave us some good genes, and we're both in good shape. But yeah, my favorite breakfast and egg recipe is probably going to be that. I don't mind cooking it on the grill. Lately, I've been cooking outside on my Blackstone. We don't really make videos or reels of everything we do. I cook out there a little more often than you guys see. I enjoy cooking outside. I really do. Whether it's on the grill, whether it's on the Blackstone, and I love cooking in the kitchen just as easily. I like the kitchen better because I have a dishwasher inside. Thank you, Terry. Love you, Mama. All right. Hello from Arizona. How y'all guys doing over there, man? Cochise County. Thanks for hanging out with us. Roger Beck, guarantee you that we definitely hope to get into Academy. Another one that we are soon working on will be the Ace True Value Hardwares. I mean, that's another nationwide chain that we hope we can get our spices and our rubs into. But yes, we hope we can get in there too. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Daniel We're in San Antonio. We have We Atrex Meat Market in San Antonio, and we also just yesterday added, thanks to Samantha Cherry, um, Cooper's Meat Market. Cooper's and We Atrex are both fine, excellent meat markets. Cooper's been around a long, long time. I don't want to misquote the year, but I want to say I read 1918 or something like that. I mean, a long time. It's been a long time they've been around. I might be wrong there, but I was looking at it earlier when I made the post. They've been around a very long time. I've been in that store. It's a very fine store. They have a lot of excellent products in there. I've been in Weatrex. They have a lot of fine meats and excellent products in there as well. So you can get your wow and your OG there. And soon, someday, we're hoping, we're praying for a brisket rub and a pork and chicken rub as well. So we're constantly working on that. And thank you, Ross. Love the flippity flip. I do too, man. I didn't invent it, man, but I think there's a lot of us who have cooked often have figured out over time that that really is an excellent way when you're cooking hot. Now, if you don't have enough fire to char your meat, it's not really going to be that necessary. You might want to let it set a little bit longer. But when you're cooking over open flames, open fire, yeah, and it's hot, you do need to do that flippy flip. It does allow the moisture to stay inside the meat while at the same time building up that amazing Maillard reaction char, which we all love so much. Thank you. Thank you. You're in LA. Thank you, Santos. Appreciate that, man. I love to hear that sizzle too, man. It usually means we're on point, man. Um, we are going to have some classes, Scott. I just don't have a specific schedule. We have not tried to make one because we're just so busy. It's really hard to do that. We're really trying to get this American Pitmaster Company a little farther and broader out before we go driving around the state. Texas is really big, or around the country, trying to do classes. Although we really enjoy doing those just as much. Lady Barbecue Video is an idea that has crossed my mind many, many times, and I have an idea for that. It's not going to be exactly like the video you've been watching and seeing. Mine's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be with brisket, and so anyway, we will get to that. So stay tuned. Small town Kentucky. Thank you for hanging out with us. Windy Hill Farm. Appreciate that very much. And Ontario, Canada. Thank you, David. Appreciate that. Um, I grew some. Okay, cool. Thank you. Don Lenny Austin in the building. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Looking forward to that open fire. Yes, sir. Thank you, WC Neathery. The kettle does everything I need and it's easy to get used to. I totally agree. I'm going to say the Weber kettle is probably the number one selling grill historically in the world. Of course, it's been around longer than most. It's at a very good price point where just about anybody can afford a kettle. They do work great. I've cooked briskets, I've cooked pork butts in there. I think it makes amazing ribs. It does everything well. It really does. It's a great little grill, not hard to clean. It does have some little idiosyncrasies. One of the things I noticed with a Weber kettle, if you don't have all your charcoal together, if it separates a little bit for whatever weird reason, if one of your briquettes separates from the group, it will die. It will shut out. And so you got to try to make sure all your briquettes stay together, touching, or they will die out. At least that's been my experience. But yeah, they are a great, great little entry level barbecue grill, and you can smoke on them as well. Thank you, Jonathan. Appreciate it, man. Um, Thank you so much. Appreciate it. We will stay as cool as we can. I'm glad the cool weather's here right now. Thank you. Appreciate that. Do I ever cook on gas grills? No, I do not because I do not own a gas grill. I did own a Weber Genesis several years ago, and I'm just going to give you my experience. Okay, I had one before that. I don't even know what it was. It was one of those little cheapo small ones, burned out, and wound up converting it to a charcoal grill. Actually, I was a real young way back in the day when I did that. And then later on, I'm going to say maybe about 15, 18 years ago, I bought a gas grill, a Weber Genesis. It was a high end one. It was like $700, whatever. I cooked on it a couple of times. one of the things that we have here in South Texas, in deep South Texas, where the Rio Grande River meets the ocean, is where we live, is wind. We have a lot of wind, and one of the downsides to gas grills is that they have to have a lot of opening, just like the Blackstone grills do, in order to allow enough air to not trap any unburnt gases anywhere and prevent an explosion. So one of the issues I had with the gas grill is it's always windy, and so sometimes the burner would blow out or half blow out, and I could taste the propane on my meats, and I didn't like that. And that happened enough times, and the burner blew out a couple of times. If I wasn't standing there, and so I had to come back, relight it, and then the meat tasted like gas or propane. Um, and so actually, I got rid of that one. I actually gave it to my brother as a wedding present, and way back in the day. But anyway, um, that is my only issue. Now, if you live in a place where you don't have the wind and the issues that I had, and you have a good gas grill and it works, and more power to you, man. I don't have nothing against them. But no, I do not cook on gas grills at this time in history. Thank you, Jason. Stay tuned, man. Keep following. And when we do put a little schedule or do plan to make one, we will announce them anywhere from 4 to 6, maybe 8 weeks ahead of time. So we'll give everybody an opportunity to be able to sign up and show up. Thank you. Bucky's. I just kind of been talking to some people about that one. And from what I understand, it takes a minimum of 1 year from when you start your conversation with Bucky to be able to get into the door. Now, right now, I don't know that that's a fact, but that's what I heard just this week. So we will be working on that one as well. How much meat should you put on your grill to keep the heat from being hindered? Scott, that's kind of a loaded question. Depends on the grill, depends on how much heat you have in there, depends on your airflow, depends on your cooking experience and abilities. Because you can move things around, you can flip things around, you can choke the air down. So it just, again, it really depends on what you're cooking on, how much fuel you have in there, how much air that particular cooker flows. Um, so it just really depends on what you're cooking on and what you're cooking as well. Saludos from El Paso. Thank you, Jose Ochoa. I appreciate that very much, sir. Um, yeah, Saul, thank you so much. Appreciate that. It really, really is awesome. It blew up this last 90 days, I'm going to say, and especially this past month, September and October. Just mind blown, man. We're just totally humbled and honored. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate all of you guys. Um, what is a good rotisserie setup? I've been looking for a good one and can't find something that I can take anywhere I go. Hmm. Daniel, I don't know. I have a small rotisserie that fits my Hasty Bake charcoal grill. I got that from hastybake.com. Um, and of course, you got to keep in mind that you need electricity. So you mentioned something that you can take anywhere you go. If you're talking about an electric rotisserie, then you're going to need electric power as well. Now, on my Javelin grill and on my Magnum grill, which is the pipe open fire pit. They both come with a manual rotisserie, and I got that one from Pro Pit. I love those because they're adjustable. The height is adjustable from both sides. You can get it up high if you got too much fire, you run out of fire, or you don't have enough. You can bring them down, and then you rotate them slowly. Now, last weekend we were at Balde at Pro Pit's house Saturday night cooking, and he had an electric rotisserie. We had a little pig going there, and that's great too, but when you have a rotisserie like that that's constant, it's doing a self basting. It makes your meat really really moist, but you're not going to get the char. When you have moisture on your meat, you're not going to get that little char. So honestly, I think for most of the type of cooking I do, I prefer a manual because, like, if I'm doing a cabrito or a little pig, I'm gonna let it set until I get some color, a little char there. Then I'm gonna maybe flippity flip it the other way and do the same. Or if it's too hot, I may flip it more than a few times, going back and forth. Might do a little baste with butter or some fat of some kind, lard or duck fat on my meats. So That's what I have. I have honestly not researched any other rotisseries, so I wish I could be of more help to you there. But unfortunately, that's my experience with rotisseries. I've been on the competition trail for a long time, and we just don't use those in competition. But that is something I do enjoy using at home. Make some michelada recipes. Thank you, Drum Bum Rocky. Good idea. I'm not a big michelada fan, to be honest with you. I think they taste great. I love the way they taste. My stomach does not like them, so I just don't drink them. Man. I get too bloated and just man, they're just not for me, man. I mean, some people can handle them really well, and some of us just can't. But anyway, more power to you if you can handle them, man. I do know some people were using the wow in their michelada recipe, and I got messages about that saying that it was really, really good in the michelada. So there's a pro tip for you: throw some wow in there, man. Take it to a wow level, your michelada. Thank you, Richard. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. We're gonna keep trying, doing our best. No, pilots and eggs is awesome. Yes, sir. I gotta agree with you there for sure. All right, we've got a gentleman, Marvis from Mr. Loquito in DA. I'm not sure where that is, but okay, thank you. Does that mean India? I don't know, but if it is, whoo, man, you're way over there. Thank you for joining us. Where can you find a list of barbecue competitions around Texas, mainly Central Texas? There are three main sanctioning bodies in Texas. You have the oldest, which is IBCA. I believe IBCA has been around the longest. And then you have Lone Star Barbecue Society. IBCA is ibcabarbecue.org. Lone Star Barbecue is Lone Star Barbecue Society.com, if I'm not mistaken. And then you have, what is Fred's, babe? What is Fred's sanctioning body? God, my mind went blank. I know it. It just, my mind went blank right now. The other sanctioning body. Champions Barbecue Line. Thank you, man. My wife had to help me. Woo! You see what happens when you get old, man. The other one is Champions Barbecue Alliance here in Texas, also. That is Fred Robles' association, and man, they're doing an awesome job. They have taken off, and man, they got competitions everywhere in Texas. There is another smaller one, mainly in Central Texas, and that is called Central Texas Barbecue Association. I think it's CTBA, if I'm not mistaken. Do a little Google search, you'll find them. They're there. They don't do as many, but as far as I know, those are all your sanctioning bodies in Texas. And each one of those sanctioning bodies on their website will have a list of events with the dates and the prize money and all that good stuff. Hope that helps. Thank you so much, Valerie. Appreciate it. Valerie Villarreal, Washington State. Hello, Joseph. Thank you. Josie Rodriguez, thanks for hanging out with us. Chile Piquin. Josie says Joel, I'm sorry. I can't see without my glasses up there till I click on it. Yeah, that Chile Piquin sauce is really good. You know what? It wasn't as hot as I was expecting it to be. Today, the one I made today, I'll put up a reel tomorrow of what we cooked today. Reels are the little short 1 minute videos, 15-second, 30-second videos. I'll put that up tomorrow. So what I took, I had made another salsa last week with tomatoes and I think serranos, if I remember correctly. I don't remember what we put in, but anyway, it wasn't very hot. We boiled the tomatoes and we made it, and it wasn't very hot. And I don't usually add water or not much. I put a little too much. It was a little bit watery, so I saved it in a mason jar. And I so today, sorry, I had a text coming in. So today I got the molcajete out, and I got a bunch of dried chile piquins, and I ground them up real good, and I mixed in some of that other sauce from last week. Whoo! That's a good chile piquin right there. That's a good salsa, man. That's probably my all-time favorite, right up there with the green jalapeno salsa. Those are my two all-time favorite salsas. They're amazing. I love them both. Michelada. uh, All right, Rico's Memorial, like smoking tri tips in Califas, using brisket techniques. Thank you, Rico. Appreciate it. I have a tri-tip in my freezer that I've had for a couple of months. I need to get that out and cook it and record a video on that one as well, man. I like tri-tip too. We've done a few of them. They are fantastic. Thank you. Appreciate that, Stephen. Appreciate it very, very much. Thanks for your business, and I'm glad you like our wild product. And the OG is really good too, man. Thank you all for buying our products, and I'm so glad we have had basically 100% good feedback on both of our barbecue products. So we're just like so humbled with that. So happy. Thank you all so much. Thank you all for the nice comments. I really can't get to every single one of them, but here's one. A Nani's Moose says he made the green salsa, and it's one of the best he's ever had. Yeah, that's one of my all-time favorites. That one and the chili piquin. Those are my two go-tos 90% of the time, man. I love. What's cool about the green salsa, what I really like about it is that it's versatile enough. It's just pure chile, jalapeno with a little garlic. You can add that to your other tomato salsa. You can add it to your pico de gallo if you want a more bite in your pico de gallo. I've done that as well. It adds that other little complex flavor from the jalapeno, and it might change the color of the broth a little bit, but man, it really kicks up that pico de gallo as well. If you got any salsa that needs a little kick or a little extra flavor, green salsa, baby, put that in there, man. It's good. You're so funny, GT. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Craig. Good question. Green egg or Weber Summit Kamado? Honestly, I cannot give good, honest feedback on either one of those because I've never owned either one of them. I have cooked on a green egg. It was many years ago. I was up in Colorado on a dirt bike riding tour with some friends of mine and friend of ours that lives there, and we were visiting for one of the evening barbecues. Had one of the big green eggs, so we cooked some steaks and fajitas and stuff, and I did cook on it. It cooked great. I've heard nothing but good things. I do know they have a cult following, the green eggs. I mean, people that have them just flat love them. They have a lot of good feedback. So I can't say nothing good or bad about them. I mean, nothing bad about them. The Summit Kamado, I don't know. I haven't. I don't think I've ever seen one, to be honest with you. I don't follow a lot of this stuff. I just don't have time. But if it's a Kamado style, it's probably similar to the green egg. It's probably a good cooker. Honestly, if it's from Weber, it's got to be good, man. I can't say I've ever heard of any Weber not being a good grill. Probably going to be good, and they're probably going to be neck and neck. At the end of the day, it's up to the pit master. It's up to you to be the pit master, the cook, and master the grill that you have. You can cook good barbecue on anything, even in a trash can, even in a shopping cart. Have y'all seen those memes going around? Those pictures of people with shopping carts, and they got a fire under there, and they're grilling meat. So you can't cook on anything. Um, Thank you, Joel. Appreciate that, brother. Do the drapes match the carpet? No, they don't. Yeah. Hello, Al. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for hanging out with us, man. Cheers. Um, all right, you're gone. Green tea. Sorry. Hey, Arnie. Thank you. I'm glad, Rob Bear. I'm glad that we inspired you to cook some ribs, and I hope they turned out good for you, man. We do try to help everybody as much as we can. Um, Trumpet Master in the house. What? Que craqueando? I don't know, man. That's a new one. I haven't heard it like that before. One of my friends used to come around and say, "What's quack a lacking, man?" So I kind of use that one every once in a while. Let's go do some quack a lacking or what's quack a lacking. But hey, man, thanks for hanging out with us, Luis. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much, man. I need to get in on one of your lives. I see you coming up every once in a while, and I'm always doing something else when it happens, man. But on one of these Austin trips, me and you are going to get together, burn some meat, and drink a couple of beers, man. Last time I told you we were headed up there on the Thursday, but we were just there Thursday night, and then we hauled ass to Fort Worth the next morning. So we didn't get to hang out that time, but we will soon, I promise. Dale Chine. Yes, that's one for sure. Dale Chine. Dale Chine. Uh, all right. Don Cheto from Border, Texas. Thank you for hanging out with us. Appreciate that, brother. Salvador Sepulveda, big fan from California, right? Weber Kettle Idea created from a sea boy. Yes, I've read that story. Yes, very true. And they are great kettles. Thanks for hanging out with us on all of our YouTube, Salvador. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Um, my go-to rub for pork butts. You know, now it is wow. And I created wow mainly for steaks, fajitas, burgers, chops, hot and fast grill and stuff. Um, but apparently, it's amazing on everything. And I didn't use it on pork, not even in testing, because that's not what I was making it for. But once we started to sell it, people were using it on pork, using it on chicken, micheladas, like I said. Excuse me. And so originally the label said steak rub. So then we went and changed the label to barbecue seasoning because apparently it's way more versatile than I even dreamed of. I'll give you a pro tip. What I like to do is put some OG on the pork butt now. It's your basic salt, pepper, garlic, and then I'll go back over it a little bit later with a light coat of wow, and that will make any meat shine. I promise, man. I mean, I did some brisket point yesterday, and I trimmed it all up. I was testing my brisket rub sample, the latest one I've gotten, and to see how it was going to taste on a brisket. So I had to cook a whole brisket yesterday. But I did some trims, and on those little trims, I set them aside, and I smoked them aside. And all I did was throw a little OG and then a little bit of wow on them. Oh man, it was so damn good. Just like that. I was asking myself, like, the heck do I need a brisket rub for? Man, these two together just like killed the brisket flavor. It was fantastic, man. Really, really good. So that is our go-to for pork butts. Now, if you want a sweet, I mean, there's a lot of sweet rubs out there. I mean, I'm gonna say one of my favorite is at this time is John Henry's stuff. He has a lot of different sweet rubs that are really, really good. The maple flavored one, maple something, that's really good on pork. Butcher Barbecue has one now also with maple. Both of those are really, really good on pork. I like that on pork myself if I'm looking for a sweet hint. And Butcher Honey Rub is good. It's a good sweet rub on anything. Really, really good. I love that stuff when I want a little sweet on my rubs, on my ribs or my pork. Um, Sorry, Homer, nobody in California has them yet. We would sure like to find a place up there that can stock them. Again, like I said earlier, we are growing slowly but surely. And I think the way we're going to get there is to get into some big box store chains. We're just not there just yet, but we will get there by God's grace and if God is willing. There's the Port St. Lucia, Florida. Thank you, Javier. Appreciate that, brother. Best barbecue place in Texas. You know, there's a lot of good barbecue places in Texas. I don't think there's any one best barbecue place. Um, I think everybody has their own little preferences. And of course, there's always a lot of pride for locals for their local barbecue places. If you go to Lockhart, obviously the people that live in Lockhart are going to say that that's the best barbecue in Texas, regardless of which restaurant you go to. If you live in Austin, there's a lot of great places. I was in Franklin's not too long ago, and it's some of the best restaurant barbecue I've ever had anywhere, anytime. But so was 2M, so was Panther City, so was what was the other one? La Barbecue, LA Barbecue there in Austin. It's really good. Mickelwait's good. There's that other one that had like the best ribs I've ever had. I can't remember, man. I went on a barbecue um, deal not about 3 years ago, I guess. Style Switch. We ate there too, and their pork ribs were like some of the best I ever had. So really, there's, in my opinion, no best barbecue place. It just depends on who you are and what you like. Some places use oak, some use pecan, some use mesquite. So it just kind of really depends. Um, it depends on you, really. You need to try a few and decide which one is your favorite. I like them all, man. I like them all. And one of the things we will be doing here in the near future, hopefully, is more interviews with some of the big Texas pitmasters that own barbecue restaurants. On my radar right off the bat, because I pass through San Antonio often, it's going to be Saul and his partner Joe over at 2M Smokehouse. Those guys cook some phenomenal barbecue. They have all kinds of accolades. They're in every freaking magazine in the world, that has anything to do. I mean, they've got a James Beard Award, if I'm not mistaken, as well, or were nominated. They're one of the best places in the country, from what I'm seeing from the outside looking in. But there are a lot of great barbecue places in Texas, man. A lot. In the last 5 years, I think a lot of great ones have popped up. Um, Style Switch, yeah, I said that. Style Switch. Um, and if you haven't been to Panther City in Fort Worth, whew, man, if you're in the Fort Worth area, Dallas area, I've been to a couple of those over there. Um, weren't as good as the hype, but sometimes maybe it wasn't the right day. It happens. So I'm always going to give everybody the benefit of the doubt and go back a second time to give them an opportunity and just see what their food's like. I always like to show up unannounced. I don't like to tell anybody I'm going there. I just get in line like everybody else and pay for my barbecue and make my own decision. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of great places, man, and there's more new ones popping up all the time. I think part of that is Texas Monthly and Daniel Vaughn just doing an amazing job preaching the gospel of barbecue, man, to the world, you know. And so people literally fly from all over the world to come and eat barbecue in Texas. That's amazing, man. So that should tell the rest of the world, the rest of the United States, where the best barbecue is. Sorry, guys, not trying to offend nobody, but it is what it is, man. People come over from all over the world to Texas. Uh, maybe because he is Moaz. Yeah, yeah. Daniel, Cajun Bandit makes a rotisserie for the kettle and runs on regular batteries. Nice. Shout out for South Central Texas. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. Trumpet Master, come to Austin tomorrow. We're meeting at Alton's. Oh man, I wish. I wish we could go tomorrow, man. We're cooking this weekend with Propit at a local event, so we're gonna be there Saturday. If you're in the valley and you ain't doing nothing, come over to the Catholic War Veterans over here on Edinburgh on 281. We'll be out there hanging out, burning meat, and cooking pan de campo, carne guisada, pork ribs, fajitas. I'll be cooking the fajitas and I'll be cooking the pork ribs. Balde and his crew are doing the rest of the stuff. So if y'all want some good barbecue, come to Edinburgh this Saturday. What do I think about mayonnaise as a binder? I have not tried mayo yet on a brisket, Scott. I actually tried it on some fajitas the other day just for shits and grins. And I don't know if I put too much, but I could definitely taste it. And it did not, it wasn't bad at all, not at all, but it wasn't a flavor that I normally look for in a fajita or that I'm used to in a fajita. I have not tried it on a brisket yet, so I'm not going to make a judgment call on something I haven't done. Um, Cold beers, yes, sir. Cold beers, trumpet. I hope so. Shout out from Bates. And thank you, Rocky Garcia. Appreciate that. Um, Green Egg, Mountain Green, Weber Kamado. Those are all good grills, man. Again, what I said earlier, Craig, it just depends on you. Whatever you have, you need to master it. I think any one of those cookers would cook some really good barbecue once you figured out its own personality, the little its idiosyncrasies, and the way that they like to run. Um, Thank you so much, Roger. Appreciate that. And I do come from a very tight family. And I'm very fortunate, very blessed to have that. I really am, honestly. On my side of the family, on Terry's side of the family, same thing, man. She comes from a very tight family, super close, super loving people. And my family is the same way, man. I mean, we're very, very fortunate and blessed in that respect, by God's grace. Um, I'm looking for questions, folks. Bear with me. I know there's a bunch of them probably that I haven't got to yet. How do you balance sweet ribs versus? I'm not sure I quite understand the question, SB Bass Gang. So maybe if you could elaborate a little bit more, I could answer that. Balance sweet ribs. I personally don't cook a real sweet rib. I like a little wow and OG on mine. I've used Juicy Pig from Texas Like Seasonings, very good on ribs also. Um, there's a lot of great rubs for ribs, lots of them out there, man. I generally like something like, fajita seasoning used to be my go-to on pork ribs, and any kind of seasonal. And then I let the sweet come through on the barbecue sauce. That's me. That's my preference. If I use sauce at all, which most of the time I don't. But when I do, yes. Butter, butter, Eli. I want to tell you my favorite butter right now is the Amish style butter that Rick Espinosa turned me on to. Rick is one of the floor managers there at Grand Zines in New Braunfels, and they sell these big round butter things, and it's an Amish style butter. Whew, man, I've tried a lot of butters. I've tried them all, believe me, in the grocery stores. That butter is another level. It's really, really good. That's my favorite butter right now. Matter of fact, we came through there on Monday coming home from Austin, and I bought two big round chunks. Let me show it to you guys real quick. Hold on. Ta-da! Here it is. There we go. There it is. This is Troyer Amish style roll butter. This is big, folks. This is really good. I bought two of these. This is fantastic butter. All right, I'm not sure how my audio is getting across to y'all. I forgot I had my earpods here. Let me see if I can get them hooked up real quick. Maybe it'll sound better for y'all. All right, let's see what we got here. I just saw them right now. Okay, that should be working. Let me know if they're not coming through, but they should be. Tips for mollejas on the barbecue pit. Where did that go? Raul, on mollejas, I don't cook them a lot, but I do love them, and so I will cook them once in a while. I used to like to boil them for about an hour. I'll throw a little bit of onion, put a little bit of seasoning in there, so that the seasoning, the onion, kind of soaks into the meat, boils into it a little bit. Um, but I find now because they're generally chunky, right? I'll usually cut them in half. I'll season both sides, let them sit on the counter, go light the fire. I like to cook them straight over the coals on a low heat. Those are not a flippity flip like a steak or a fajita. I like to let them cook slow, let them get cooked because those are a longer cook than a steak. They're more like a roast. You got to give them some time to soften up, to loosen up, and then you can wrap them there toward the end in foil. I've done that too. But that's the way I like to cook mine now, just right over the fire. I find that they have more flavor when you don't boil them. But if you need to boil them, some people are fans of boiling them. I used to be. That's okay too. They still will cook good. I just don't like to boil them in them. I think they taste better. And my good friend Sapo from Corpus Christi, Sapo Barbecue, Lyndon Thompson, he cooks mollejas way more than I do, and he agrees. They taste better straight over the fire, man. Balanced sweetness rib versus more salt and pepper in certain areas. Um, Again, not 100% sure I understand the question, but I'm going to say, as far as balance goes, that's a personal preference. Everybody likes barbecue in different varying amounts of salt um, and pepper. Central Texas is a very salt and pepper centric style. At least that's what most people believe. I've been to a lot of barbecue places, and I don't think everybody uses salt and pepper. That's something that some of the big names started using. And I have a theory about that. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying I have a theory. I think one of the reasons that salt and pepper was the original seasoning for most barbecue places is because most barbecue places that have been around longer, started, as they say, on a shoestring budget. So they couldn't afford to buy fancy seasonings. They didn't mix a lot of different seasonings at the time because it cost money. Uh, and salt and pepper alone makes amazing barbecue. It does. I mean, we all know that. So, I just that's just kind of one of my theories. And when people tell me, all you need is salt and pepper, I disagree. I'm going to beg to differ because there is more flavor to be had. And like my friend and my brother from another mother, Luke Castro, says from Chicks to Rubs, life is too short for salt and pepper, man. It's too boring for just salt and pepper, man. So that's just my take on that. But as far as balance, I mean, every area, every region is different. One of the things I do see at barbecue restaurants now versus the older school salt and pepper center textile ribs, uh, everybody is wrapping their ribs with a little sweet sauce or some sugar at most of the restaurants that I've been to in the last couple of years. Um, so that's different from Central Texas style. So again, all I'm going to say, SB Bass, is at the end of the day, it's always, always, always going to be personal preference, whether it's ribs or brisket or steaks, chicken, whatever you're cooking, it's always personal preference. Um, how do I balance? If I have a salt and pepper, I'm just going to put a good sweet sauce on there. There's a lot of great sauces out there now too that were not there. I used to have to mix and match and blend and make my own stuff. You really don't have to anymore, man. You can literally buy stuff right off the shelf and go in a cook off. You definitely can win the hearts and palates of your family and your friends at any backyard cook off with a sauce right off of the grocery store shelf. There's a lot of great ones out there. There really are. Um, Thank you. Appreciate that, Bertha. Okay, let's see if we can find another question. I don't know how long we've been on here now. Um, been on here a little long, but anyway, thank you. Appreciate that. Cruise control. Have I done a menudo video? Not yet, Mando, but that is on our schedule of things to do. Believe it or not, right now, we have videos already recorded, scheduled for the rest of the year. Uh, we may mix them up and maybe insert something a little different between now and the end of the year. We are still planning to record one or two every week for the rest of the year because then we can afford to take a couple of weeks off during the holidays. Number one. Number two, we're going to keep rolling right into the new year with videos. So we are constantly recording and creating new videos. Menudo is one of them. Caldo de res, caldo de pollo is another. Enchiladas. We love enchiladas in my house, so we're going to do those too, a couple of different ways. Um, Next week, we are recording a video that I think you're all going to enjoy. After Thanksgiving, we're going to call it brisket leftovers. What do you do with the brisket leftovers? We have a couple of dishes that we enjoy, and so we're going to record them for you guys and share them with y'all. Those will come out right after Thanksgiving, that video, anyway. Any up and coming local spots in the RVG that I'd recommend? I did work with the Smoking Moon crew quite a bit. They do have some excellent barbecue. As far as other up and coming joints, I don't know of any. I know what was it called? Um, what George's place? George Watts's barbecue. I forget. Anyway, there's one in San Juan. George Watts opened it. He's a friend of mine. Very good barbecue too. That's one of the newer ones that I've been to. There are some others. I have not been to the lower valley to Harlingen and Brownsville, and a couple of my friends actually open new places in Brownsville, and I just haven't made it out there. It's about an hour and 20 minutes from where I live. So unless I have a really good reason to drive over there, I just don't. And I haven't had one, but there's a lot of new ones. You're gonna have to get out there and try them and see which one you like. You got to remember that they are all trying their best. I got a lot of respect, man, to everybody that does that kind of work because I've done it. I had a restaurant for a couple of years. It's a lot of work. It's a labor of love and it's passion, man. It's a lot of work. Um, Sweetbread we just talked about those, Edwards. I love them. They're good. I wish I could, Trumpet Master. um, hey, puppy dog, how are you? What's going on, pups? Buddy wants to say hi, everybody. This my this is my other taste tester, buddy. Say hi, buddy. Hi, guys. What's going on? He's my taste tester too. That dog loves barbecue, man. Any kind of barbecue. Okay, I have a friend. Let's see. Really great meal cooking, grilling with AB. He has wonderful seasons and great recipes. Mr. Make It Happen. You too. Thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot. Appreciate that. Uh, Smoked colitas. What is that? Oxtails. I haven't tried smoking them. I have grilled them. They are excellent. Really good meat. It's expensive now. Um, Don Cheto. I'm glad you liked that Korean video barbecue. That was good, man. We had a blast out there. Just really good food, man. Edward's asking if my rubs contain MSG. The Wow has a very small amount, but yes, it does have some. I'm not a big MSG person. I think everything in life has to have a little bit of balance. MSG is a natural enhancer, flavor enhancer that has gotten a bad rap. It's been proven over and over that there's nothing wrong with it. There are people that might be allergic to it, but there are people that are allergic to peanuts. There are people that are allergic to pork. There are people that are allergic to a lot of different things. So it's not just MSG. Um, and pretty much, I'm going to say friggin' 80% of the rubs on the market that you're eating and don't even know it. Half the food you get at fast food restaurants has MSG in it. People just don't know it. But yes, it does have a very small amount. How about an Oklahoma Joe smoker? Those are pretty good. They're a pretty good, in my opinion, value for the money, quality, construction. Um, you know, build for what they cost. They do a good job. I think they're a great entry level smoker for people that are getting into smoking meats. There's a ton of YouTube videos out there on how to make them work better. So if you have one, or if you're thinking about getting one, if it's a budget thing, I would research that first. Make sure that you're willing to do that little extra work to make them run like a Ferrari. On that, Edward, it just depends on what you're cooking. I do like to go a little mild on my seasonings when I cook steaks and fajitas. And when they come off the grill, I do like to shake a little bit of OG. Just that little extra salt, pepper, and garlic kick, I think really kicks them up to another level. That's the way we like to cook them here at home. So, yeah, it's okay to do that. I always like to take a taste first, while it's on the grill or almost off the grill, just to kind of make sure that I know where I'm at because sometimes this hand is a little bit heavier than other times. So just you kind of got to do a little taste test. But generally, yeah, I do that. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, future president. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Um, SNS grills, never heard of those, Gerald. I have no idea what those are, man. Maybe I'll look them up later if I get a chance. Um, I would not say OG has a strong black pepper. It is fresh cracked pepper that they use in it. I've been to the plant. I have seen the black pepper berries coming down in a funnel into the grinder, and they grind it 3 or 4 different sizes depending on what they need that day. So it is fresh cracked black pepper, but it is definitely not a strong pepper. Again, what I've said already 100 times and will continue to say, that's going to depend on you. It's your preference. What I think is a strong black pepper taste may not be what you think is a strong black pepper taste, or vice versa. So you just you got to try it and see, for yourself. Some people think it's not salty enough. Some people think it's too salty. We think it's just right. When I created it, I did do a lot of testing, and we had been using that exact combination ratio for many years here in our house in the kitchen, and that's the reason we decided to put it out because we enjoyed it so much. We thought other people would enjoy it too. Um, thank you, Dirty Smoke. Okay, early in the cook, Ocean Discovery. I don't know. I mean, I know some people say it is. Me personally, I don't like the dirty smoke at all. You can get rid of some of it if it's in the early part and you're cooking briskets or butts for a long time. You will get rid of some of it. But my opinion, I mean, what's the point? Why would you want the dirty smoke there in the first place? If you like it, you know, everybody's different, man. More power to you. Podcast, yes, we are talking about podcasts. We've been talking about that for a year, um, but I've kind of got my feet wet a little bit on a lot of Facebook lives. This is actually my first YouTube live. It is something that I would like to get into and do more of after we've got a good grip and a little bit wider distribution of our rubs. We want to make sure everybody has access to them. And once that happens and we have enough time, we definitely do plan to do some podcasts. That is in the works. Thank you, Sasquatch. Appreciate that. I'm glad you like it, brother. Good question, Sasquatch. Which is better? Yeah, it depends on you, man. Everybody's different. I like them both. I use the OG more in my kitchen than the Wow, but the Wow would be just as good on anything. It's just personal preference. When I cook outside, I use the Wow more, but the OG will cook everything else just as good. It's going to really be personal preference. You got to try them both and see which one you like because we're all different, man. Thank you, Pop Tart. Trumpet Master Moto Binder. What do you say? I think you meant mayo binder on turkey is excellent. Crispy skin, hot and fast. Awesome. Hey, I'll be looking for a turkey video tomorrow. We're dropping a turkey video tomorrow. I cooked it on my Pro Pit torpedo. Torpedo. I smoked it on there. I didn't realize each year we try to put out a different turkey video, and I all these years I didn't realize I did not have a smoked turkey video on YouTube or anywhere on social media. So y'all be looking for that one tomorrow. It is gonna be out about 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Great little video. We had a blast doing it. I also recorded I also recorded a drum smoker turkey last week. It wasn't a whole start to finish. It was more about let's cook it, let's see what it looks like, let's slice it, make a pretty presentation. And man, that's one of the best turkeys I ever had, man. It's drum smoker turkey was amazing. So I'll definitely try the male trumpet master. Craig, where'd he go, Craig? Craig says, how do we buy the rubs? You can go to pitmaster.us. That is our website, and you can purchase the rubs there. Other than that, we do have several locations in Texas. If you live in Texas, we're mostly Austin, San Antonio, Laredo, Eagle Pass, Carrizo Springs, and then further on south to the Rio Grande Valley, Corpus Christi. We have a couple locations in Houston as well. If you would shoot us an email to pitmasterclass dot info at arnietex.com. I'm sorry, info at arnietex.com. Shoot me an email, and we'll be happy to provide you with a list with our current stores that have our products. But other than that, you can order it online at pitmaster.us. Hello, Chad Fry from New Jersey. Mayo on grilled pork chop seasoning is the best I've made. Hearing a lot about Goldie's. Goldie's is number one, baby, and that's on our list of places to be at. We were in Fort Worth a couple weeks ago. We almost made it out there, man, but we just couldn't make enough time to drive across to where they were at, and so it escaped us this time. We will be back, and we are planning to do that barbecue run also in the near future. Thanks again, man. Thank you, Valerie. Appreciate that. Thank you, Flip Main. Thank you so much for the nice words. Yeah, that sword, Edward. That's a badass sword, right? This is a trophy, actually, a one part of a two-part trophy. Let me see if I can show it to you guys. There it is. The very first Pit King cook-off they had in Laredo, Texas. We won grand champion, and this was our trophy or part of it. It was the trophy, the sword, I mean, and also it also came with a king's crown. I had a crown with jewels around and stuff. Pretty slick, man. Super, super cool to get different kind of trophies. I liked all those. The generic trophies are okay too. We love them all. But when you get those other cool ones like that, something different, it's just they're special, man. They really are. Homer says, Homebregs 33 says, tripas for the win. I like tripas, man, but I don't like cleaning them. So I hardly ever, I think I've made tripas like twice in my life. I'd rather let somebody else do that. My brother, my little brother, is the tripa guy in our family. Every year when we get together for New Year's, he would make tripas outside on the disco, and he's really, really good at them. So I'd rather let somebody else do those. I'll do the pork butts, the steaks, the ribs, and fajitas, and everything else in between. Uh, Tips on seasoning a new grill. I'm just going to tell you what I do. I mean, everybody has their own ideas or what they do and how they do it, probably. But for me, I buy a new grill, pop it open, blow it out if it's got dust or whatever from the manufacturing process. Uh, I'll take a bunch of Pam, spray the crap out of it all inside, light a light fire in there. Not super hot. I want the heat to come up a little bit slow at first. Once it's all up to temperature, a couple hundred degrees, I'll dump some more charcoal in there, open up the air a little bit. I like to get them up around 300, 400 degrees, for a couple hours. Let the fire burn out, shut it down, and then you're ready to cook, man. That's what I do. On some of my hasty bakes, I've done that and didn't even let them settle down. I started cooking or the first fire right away. So you can do that. Just make sure you clean your grates really good because sometimes they have, manufacturing dust and just stuff. So clean them really, really good before you start cooking on them. That's funny, Joel. Captain Kirk. I wish. Wish I had his money. Greetings from the. What marinade would you use to make tender, how to grill chuck steaks? Um, I'll be honest with you, Yankee. I'm not a big marinade fan. I have a video on YouTube for a fajita marinade. It's I'm going to say a fairly generic marinade because a lot of the marinades have very similar ingredients, and mine does too. It does have some really great flavor, um, and it will soften up those fajitas. You need a minimum of 2 to 4 hours, and if they're real thick, you might need to leave them overnight. Um, so really, that's just me, man. I'm not a big marinade fan. I would rather buy a soft piece of meat that doesn't need a marinade because I like to taste the meat. I like to taste the rub. That little combination. I mean, that's what I like in my barbecue. But everybody's different. So I mean, some people like marinade. Some people like basting liquids or sauces, and some people like to inject more than I do. I mean, it's just everybody's different, man. But try that marinade I have. It's in this YouTube channel that you're on right now on my YouTube. It's the very first video. It's linked. It's pinned up at the top when you go to my channel. Try that one. I really think you'll like it. Favorite food memory from my grandparents, man. That's a hard one to pick because I have so many of them. But because barbecue is my biggest passion, I'm gonna say my favorite is just watching my grandpa and my dad. But this is about grandparents. Watching my grandpa cook short ribs, man. The big monster ribs. You cut them crossways, then you cut them again, so you got these little big squares, like that of meat and bone. My grandpa used to cook those all the time. They were always phenomenal, man. And they basically had the original all-purpose seasonal on them, which is OG, but it wasn't called OG that back then. It was called salt, pepper, garlic, or seasonal. It was just salt, pepper, garlic, man. But that's probably my favorite barbecue memory, food memory from my grandpa. When it comes to my grandma on my mom's side, it was rice, man. My grandma made the best rice ever. And my wife makes a really good Spanish rice too, like the one that my mom made. Um, and I didn't know this, but she made some yesterday or day before yesterday, and it turned out amazing. So I was complimenting her on it. She goes, "Well, your grandma taught me how to make it." I was like, "Really? I don't remember that." She had never told me that, but my grandma taught her, and it's just as good as my mom's because she taught my mom. So yeah, so that's probably on my grandma. On my dad's side, my grandmother was a cabrito lover. So my favorite memories of her was when we would kill a cabrito. My dad would tell me to hold the leg. He'd cut the throat, and my grandma would catch the blood. And she's old school. They do all that stuff with the blood and whatever. I never ate that. I just like to grill the meat and eat that. But yeah, that's it, man. Thank you for your question. Appreciate it. Thank you, Manuel. Appreciate that. Uh, Yes, pork butt, country style ribs do come from the pork butt, and I cook those once in a while. Not as often as I'd like to be honest with you. I love them. I think they're freaking awesome. It's one of my favorite things to cook, really. I just don't do it often enough because it's usually quicker and easier to throw a fajita or a steak on the grill. And it seems like we're always so busy, man, and we're short on time. But yeah, country style ribs from pork butt are the best, man. They're awesome. Let's see. Ignored Canvas says he literally cooks every time my videos pop up. Yeah, good. Thank you. Appreciate that, man. Uh, do I prefer to cook a choice or a prime brisket for backyard? I'm gonna tell you the truth. Lately, I've found mostly choice briskets, but I'll pay a little extra and cook a prime all day, every day, man. If I can find a good prime, if it's 10, $15 more than the choice, I'll buy the prime. It is a better cut of meat. It is juicier. It is softer. Um, 90, 95% of the time. Every once in a while it says prime. It's probably more like a select. That does happen too. But in general, I would definitely cook a prime over a choice any day of the week. Excuse me. Pozole. I don't know that I'll get to post that this year, Locks. Maybe we'll be able to make a short reel out of it if we do make pozole. I honestly have never made pozole in my life. I've made a lot of menudo. I make a really good menudo, and we are going to record that video this last quarter of the year. Hopefully, we can get it posted in time for the holidays for you guys. Appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, yeah, bro. Yankee, that butter's awesome, man. I love it. It's really, really. I'm sold on that, man. Question: what made me get into food? Were you a cholo before? Actually, I've never been a cholo. I don't know where you come from with that, or what gave you that idea, but no. Uh, my grandpa was a chef. He was a cook. My dad barbecued a lot and cooked a lot, so I just kind of always been around fire and barbecue, and that's how I got into it, man. We're in South Texas. Everybody in South Texas barbecues, whether they're a cholo or not a cholo. That's so hilarious, Anthony. I don't know where you got that from. Favorite breakfast taco? Papas con huevo y bacon, man. That's got to be one of my all-time favorites. Potatoes, eggs, and bacon. And if it's got a little cheese, it's even more better, man. I love that stuff. James says he only uses Don Juan's. Well, James has not been wowed yet. That's all that's all about. Sorry, James. You got to get some wow in your blood, man. I'm just messing with you, brother. Use whatever you like. It's all good. Don Juan's is good. I've tried it. It's an excellent rub for sure. I still think my wow's better though. From Florida, Fort Myers. Thank you. Appreciate that, Flake. No, I don't have a favorite barbecue restaurant, Steven. I like them all, man. Um, and to be quite frank with you, in the last 4 or 5 years, when I've been to a barbecue restaurant, I have not been disappointed. Um, I think a lot of backyard barbecuers are, in some cases, barbecue snobs. And I know when I posted that Franklin video, there was a lot of guys commenting, "Oh, it's overrated. Oh, this, oh that. It's not that great. Whatever." You know what? You're a barbecue snob, man. Your stuff sucks, probably, and that's why you say that. I'm just saying, man. You know, if you can't go into a barbecue restaurant with an open mind and be fair-minded about their barbecue and how to, it's a restaurant, man. It's commercial. It's not competition food, and it's created to feed the masses and to give everybody a great eating experience. And those people work really, really hard to give you that great eating experience. Do they sometimes have a bad day? It happens. Yeah, it does. And if that's the day you were there, man, you should give them a second chance. Always. Because I always do. So no, I don't have a favorite one. I like a lot of them, man. Everyone that I've been to in recent memory has been really, really good. Some better than others, but I can't say I've had a bad barbecue plate really in quite a long time. And there used to be some bad ones that I have been to in the past, but not in recent memory, man. To be quite honest with you guys. What's up, locos? 44. Ugly drum smokers art with a question mark. Yes, they are awesome. I have two of them. They're great. Probably going to sell one of them. I just got too many cookers, man. I don't need two or three or five drums. I got two. That's one too many, really. I've got my offset stick burner still. I've got my propane smoker and a bunch of other stuff, man. So, yeah, they are awesome, though. They do a great job. I love the set it and forget it possibility to cook with those. You set your air, you set your fire. I mean, you can throw a brisket or a pork butt in there and walk away for 3 or 4 hours and not even think about it, and it'll cook perfect. Uh, no, I don't think I can beat the HB Tres Leches cake because I don't make cakes. My wife's brownies would probably beat the Tres Leches cakes, though. She makes a mean brownie, I guarantee you that. uh, an issue with wrapping burritos. I can't help you there, bro. I'm not a burrito wrapper at all, man. We make a Texas style, South Texas style taco, and I go to town on it. Now, I do want to make a video, sort of a funny video on how to eat a taco. What is the proper taco etiquette? How should you eat a taco? And I'm going to make it sort of a funny video because I've had some guys comment that I'm eating the taco wrong. And I'm like, really? So there's a right way and a wrong way to eat tacos. Toma! Whatever, dude. You're crazy, man. So I'm going to make that. I do not have a mole recipe. My mom uses that little Maria's or whatever it's called, and then she doctors from there. She does make a really great mole, but it is partially from that jar. So no, not me, man. I'm not a mole. I know it takes a lot of different ingredients and a lot of time to make, so I'm out. Yes, Trumpet Master, you will definitely would be a guest on my podcast. Absolutely, yes. You might just be first. Fantastic on pumpkin seed. Yes, it's good on everything, but wow is too, man. Hmm. A good chili. I don't have a video of a chili recipe, Richard. I honestly don't have a set chili recipe. I've made chili a lot of times over the years. I've got some recipes laying around somewhere in the book. We actually won first place with a chili at a local cook-off one time, many years ago. But it was a long, drawn out cook, very complex with a lot of ingredients. I don't make chili like that at home. Be honest with you, I like to start with the three alarm chili or the Shelby chili, and I doctor from there to my taste and what I like. Um, those are some really good ones to get you started. Suckle Busters has a pretty good chili also. Um, that comes in a box or a bag or whatever. And then I'll doctor those from there. I like to work smarter, not harder, man, on some stuff. Some things like menudo and caldo, yeah, you kind of got to really make your own, man, because they don't come in a package. The menudo spices do, but and there's some really good ones. Like Fiesta has an awesome one. Uh, but my menudo is a little simpler. It's we used to make it at the restaurant, and it's just good old school traditional menudo. Really good stuff. So yeah, chili, man. I got books on chili, and because I used to cook it more often, and there's just so many good ones, man. So many good ones. So like everything else, I say personal preference, man. Joseph, I don't know, man. I think you asked a lot of questions. I think I answered a couple of them, but there's probably, I don't know, several people on here, and I'm trying to go as fast as I can. Sorry, man. But anyway, I think I did try to answer some of your questions. Um, Spatchcock turkey and a UDS. Yeah, I think it'd be really good. I did not spatchcock mine, but I think a spatchcock is definitely a great way to cook a turkey in a short amount of time. I did that on my hasty bake. The videos on this channel a couple years back really turned out fantastic, man. Where in Austin can you buy my seasoning? You at this time you can go up to Hutto to Rocking A Grilling Supplies or Buda at Big's Meat Market, right there behind that big giant outdoor store. I forget what it's called, but he's right there in Buda. Um, Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Thank you, Richard. Greetings from Alaska. Wowzers, gazelles are all the way from Alaska. Bought a Traeger so he can cook in the snow. Way to go, Doug. Smart. Like I said, work smarter, not harder, right? Do what you got to do, man. Thank you, Daniel, on the grats. Congrats. Appreciate that very much, sir. We're super excited too. Is there a substitute for chocolate if I can't have it? That I do not know. I would say, Dwayne, you need to research that online. Um, I eat a lot, quite a bit of chocolate. That's mine and Terry's go-to snack when we're sitting there watching TV most of the time. Thank you, Doug. Appreciate that. What are my thoughts on barbecue ribs? My thought on barbecue ribs is that I love them. They're awesome, man. I prefer cooking them over the coals, over low heat, flip them a couple of times, and then let the rub be the salt, pepper, garlic, or like the wow. And then if I want a sweet rib, I want to get a nice, good sauce on there as a glaze. That's the way I like to make my ribs, but I love them. Yes, they're great. Menudo, pal crudo. Yes, sir. You got it, DG. Tacos de canasca. I've never made them. I'd like to do that someday. They look like they'd be awesome. Hello from New Mexico. Thank you. Hello, Carlos. Thanks for hanging out with us. Appreciate that, sir. My favorite spice is gonna be habanero powder. I put it on everything too, man. Half the time, habanero powder and chile piquin powder. I'm gonna show y'all how to make your own chile piquin powder too here pretty soon. That those are my favorite spices. And if you're talking about a barbecue rub, it's gonna be wow, man, all day long. It's the wow. We are going to make a enchilada video in the very near future. Um, Dwayne, hope you do make it to Texas, sir. Austin City Limits is actually on my bucket list someday. Maybe we'll see each other there. Who knows? I'm not real big on visitor places, to be honest with you. I would maybe go to one of the sites or subscribe to Texas Monthly online. They have a lot of great information on there that might point you in the right direction. That is correct, DG. I just I don't like them barbecue snobs either, man. I just like they always think their stuff's so good, and you know what? Those are the guys that go to a competition and get dead ass last, and they get pissed off and throw things, and then they blame the judges, they blame people, blah 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 blah, whatever, man. But theirs is the best. Whatever, dude. Brisket chili, yes sir. That's some good stuff. I love that stuff. Ever heard of Red Box Smoker? No, I can't say that I have. Never heard of it, man. Um, have I ever thought of putting a pot filler at the stove or electric kitchen faucet? No, I can't say that I even know what that is. Never heard of it. Um, that sounds like fun, Trumpet. I've been wanting to get on one of those little kayaks or canoes one of these days. I better get in shape first, though, in case I get tired. Hey, Rick, I do have them in San Antonio at Tricks on Blanco Road and at Cooper's. We just got Cooper's to carry our products yesterday, thanks to Samantha Cherry, our distributor. And we will have some more places in San Antonio, but right now it's Cooper's and Tricks. Yes, sir. I agree with you, Richard. One of these days we will, man. I wish Joe all the luck. I know he recently opened a food trailer, man. So that guy's super, super busy. He's a great cook and a super nice guy. I've met him in person. Really, really great guy. Uh, South Carolina, families in Central Corpus Christi, Texas. I'm assuming that's what that means. Yeah, I would definitely miss briskets if I wasn't in Texas too and I couldn't get them. Smoking butts on a pit boss. I've had a couple of pit bosses. They're a good pellet cooker. They work good. Honestly, all the pellet cookers today, mostly all of them are really really good. They can all do a great job. Upstate New York, decent restaurant around me. Wow, haven't eaten out in 3 years. Wow, that's a long time. Definitely can relate and feel your pain. We don't eat out a lot. My wife and I, we do. You know, when we do, it's usually fast food because we're running down the road, going out of town or something. So we'll eat Whataburger, Schlotzsky's, Church's Chicken if we're on the road. Dairy Queen Blizzards. Those are awesome. I love those. Anyway, back to if that's a question. I mean, I'm not from New York. I could not possibly tell you what to eat out or what kind of meat to start with, depending on what you want to cook. You know, I mean, and what you like and what's available to you. I mean, what's available in Texas and in my area, my region, may not be what you can find up there. I mean, we're very fortunate here in Deep South Texas that we have pretty much everything and anything that we want as far as meat goes. Um, El paletero in the hood was selling the rubs on his carreta. I wish, bro. Yeah, I definitely plan to do more disco recipes as time goes. You know, it's just hard to cook on all of them all the time. You know, as much as I cook still, you know, but I love cooking on the disco. It's a lot of fun, man. But I love my Blackstone. I love all my Pro Pits. I love my drum. I love my Hasty Bakes. I love all of them, man. So I got to give them all a little bit of love and do the roundy round. Give them a turn. I hadn't used my PK in a long time. I used it a few days ago on a steak and that little short reel we made with the steak and squash and tomatoes. That was good. But anyway, guys, let's see what you got here. Few fans of chain Mexican ground beef. I don't know about it. Tastes simple, but I cannot nail it. Never heard of that. Never heard of that, Bill. Not real sure. Um, I've never seen it. Do I eat mushrooms? Hell yeah, I eat mushrooms. I love mushrooms. They're great. I like those big channels. What are they called? Um, what are those big mushrooms called, Terry? I forget. My son used to love those a lot, and we would cook them for him. They're great. Portobello. Portobello. Those are great. Uh, yes, sir. Thank you, Gary. Appreciate that. That stuff is definitely good. And I did create it specifically for steaks originally. And I'm glad that it helped you get into the top 10 SCA. Man, congratulations, bro. Big, big, big congratulations. Thank you for buying our rub, and I'm glad you like it. Spread the love, man. Spread the word. Uh, all right. Sun City says he can't decide between a pit barrel or the Rectech Bullseye. Two totally different cookers, honestly, son. I had a pit barrel and I sold it, I'm going to say a year and a half ago. Not because I didn't like it, not because it didn't cook awesome, but it is a small diameter cooker. At least the one that I had was one of the first one, original ones. Uh, so you can't cook a lot of meats on that little grill. Whatever it cooked amazing. I did a brisket on it. Turned out phenomenal. But it's just not big enough for me and most of the type of cooking that I do, which is usually steaks and chicken and sausage, good old South Texas carne asada. So that's really the reason I sold it. Plus, I was trying to make some space for other stuff here, and I have a few more that I need to sell. Probably going to do that here in the near future. Get some Christmas money, man, and I'll probably wind up with more grills. But anyway, we'll see. But yeah, they are awesome. The Bullseye. Phenomenal little cooker. Absolutely love mine. I don't use it as much as I used to, mainly because I've always liked cooking with live fire. And now that I have the open fire grills, I like to use those pretty often. It is a different flavor, but the bullseye, everything that I have thrown at it, it has cooked phenomenal. I threw a pork butt in mine one day, and we were going to go run a couple of errands. So I threw it in the pork butt. I put it in a tray, with a little um, cooling rack, whatever, and I put it inside the pan, and figured I'd be back in a couple hours. I put it at 225, so I wasn't worried about it. And it turned out we were gone for about 8 hours before we made it home. I was super worried. I thought I was going to come home and wrap it and crank up the heat for a little while, get it done. When I walked out the porch, put my third pin in there, it was done. Didn't even have to wrap it. Had a beautiful bark. So I pulled it inside, let it cool a little, pull it apart. Man, that was a good pork back. No wrap, nothing. 225 all day. So, I'm gonna say, son, it just depends on you and what you like to cook. And the pit barrel is going to be a little bit more work, obviously, because you're gonna have to take the basket out, clean it regularly, light the charcoal. Um, Rectic bullseye is going to be a little easier to operate. It's going to do a great job, but you're not going to get that charcoal flavor that you get from cooking over the charcoal. But it will still be very good barbecue. Thank you. Appreciate that, Richard. Brisket style pork belly. Not real sure what that means, Art. Not real sure what that means. I'm guessing you're asking me if I have smoked a pork belly. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. And it is phenomenal. Have I been to La Barbecue in Austin? I've been there twice. Great barbecue. Yes, sir. Yes, I have done some tri-tip, really good stuff. I have one in the freezer. I need to pull it down sometime in the next few weeks and cook that thing. Video or no video, I do need to cook it. A potato recipe for the potatoes I did with the turkey breast. Thank you for reminding me. I had a message about that yesterday. Honey, we need to do that twice baked potato recipe. Um, yeah, we had said in that video we were going to share the recipe with you guys, and then we forgot all about it. Sorry. We will do that in the next 2 weeks. You wait and see. It won't be a full on YouTube video. We'll do it as a short because it'll be quick and easy, and I can record it on the phone and do a good job with it. Uh, Thoughts on Camaros, Joe? They're great. I think they're an awesome cooker. I've never had one. I have the little small one now from London Sunshine. I love that little grill. Cooks great, but kind of like that pit barrel story I was saying. You can't cook a lot on there, so I won't use it very often because you can't cook a lot of food on them, but it does do an awesome job. But on the Kamado Joe, I think everybody that I know that has them loves them, so they're probably a great cooker. Turkey time. That's right. Be looking for that video tomorrow, guys. We have that video tomorrow. Smoked turkey for Thanksgiving. Oh, speaking of turkeys, guys, they everything I'm hearing, they're going to be expensive and in short supply. So make some room in your freezer. Make some room in your refrigerator, whichever you're going to put it in for the next couple of weeks. If you see them, you better buy you one because everything I'm hearing is there's not going to be a lot of them to go around. Do you need sponsors for barbecue competitions in return for a plate to go? Um, Not real sure I understand that question. Uh, Hot. Maybe you could reword it. But no, I don't need barbecue sponsors. I've had a lot of them. It's great to have them. It does save you some money, but we're not competing enough right now for me to justify going and asking somebody for some sponsor money or charcoal or materials or whatever meats and stuff. So right now I don't. If you're saying if somebody gives you a sponsorship and they just want to play to go, heck, man, that's a heck of a deal for both of y'all. I'd say that's a win-win all day long. Yeah, I heard that trumpet. The new bullseye gets super duper hot, man. I almost want to buy one. I don't know that I will, but it does make me want to buy one. Santa Marias are great. They cook awesome, man. Just a little different style. If I was gonna get a new cooker, I've had everything and anything. I've had little trailers. I've had monster trailers with 42-inch grills and smokers on them. Tandem trailers, big trailers. I need a truckload of wood to run those things, man. But honestly, if I right now, I don't need another cooker of any type. But if I had uh, my dream, I would sell my little Lone Star grill, and I would like to buy probably another offset smoker, not because I need it, just because I want it. But I want a bigger one, maybe like a 30-inch by 7 foot long, maybe 6 foot long on a trailer, because I could use that to go out and do demos and stuff for our products. That would be the main reason I want one, something I can hook up to the back of the truck, but that's also big enough to cook enough volume of food, meats to serve a lot of people. So that's kind of what I'm dreaming about right now. Either an offset or just a big grill, a 30 by 7 grill. I mean, you can cook indirect just like a firebox on a regular grill if it's long enough, and it doesn't even have to be that long. But that would be something I would want. I need to sell a couple of things to afford one of those right now. Um, Daily pizzas. I need to try that. I've never ever made a pizza on none of my grills. I need to try that, and I even have a pizza thing, the rock, whatever you call it. So thanks for reminding me, man. I'm gonna tell Terry to remind me. We're gonna buy one and try that. RegTech, baby. What? Hey, thanks for joining us, Arizona Heatwave. Appreciate that. Um, and Arizona says he made the salsa and it was the best ever today. Awesome, man. Thanks. I'm glad that worked out for you, man. Um, thank you. Thank you, Salvador. All right, Joe Galindo. What's going on, Joe? Recommended charcoal for a bullet smoker. He's tried the regular Kingsford and straight wood and Ridgeway. Can't seem to find a good long burning. Oh wow, for over 2 hours, man! I would think any of those would burn for 2 hours. Um, I don't know where you live, Joe, but if you're anywhere in South Texas, the propit char logs are made from mesquite. They burn long and they burn hot, man. So you don't need a lot of them to cook on a bullet smoker like what you're talking about. It probably wouldn't need very much at all. So depending on where you live, these stubs briquettes, I used to use those a long time ago. I used to get them at Lowe's, and those burn really hot and they last a long time. Kingsford has their competition briquettes. Those burn hot. They burn a long time. Good charcoal, man. Other than that, I would probably run a lump charcoal. If you can get a good lump charcoal, like Fogo, that's a really awesome. They make those in real big chunks, and and that Fogo charcoal will burn a long time, and it burns hot too. So keep trying, man. The key is to keep trying and keep testing until you find something that works for you. You got it, Hojo barbecue. All right, man. Sounds like fun, Arizona. Okay, best cheap brisket from HEB, man. That's a loaded question. I'm going to say, whatever you can afford, man. I don't buy cheap briskets, so I can't help you there, to be honest with you, Joel. If I do buy an inexpensive brisket, it's really if I'm going to test something like my brisket rub that we've been trying to get out. But I really don't like to do that just because they're just not usually going to be as moist, as juicy, as succulent as I like my brisket to be. It will be a good brisket. It will be okay, but I just don't buy them. I buy primes, and I will buy choice if there are no primes. That's just me. Everybody's different. All right, way to go, Trumpet. 99 cents a pound. Man, that's cheap, bro. That's a heck of a deal. Pretty good, Gary. Awesome. Do I have a charcoal brand type? Yes, I like the ProPic char logs. If I'm going to use briquettes, that is my favorite briquette right now. If you see those bags, they do have my American Pitmaster approved badge on there. That is my favorite charcoal right now for briquettes. For lump, I do like to buy the local mesquite lump charcoal. It's fairly inexpensive. It pops a lot, but it is awesome. You have to let it all get nice and hot and get through that popping stage. Once that's over with, man, it's hard to beat that lump charcoal if you're looking for lump. And Fogo. Fogo's a really, really good charcoal. I've tried others, and it's just my opinion. These are the ones that I like. All those other ones are probably pretty good too. They just were not as good as, in my opinion, as the ones I just mentioned. But there's a lot of great charcoals out there, man. You have to just try them all, try a few until you find one that you like. Way to go, Gary. If I bought meats online, the only thing I've bought online is briskets. I've bought them from Snake River Farms. If you want a Wagyu, that's what I would recommend. I've bought Creekstone online. If you want a good natural, no antibiotics, hormones, whatever brisket, Creekstone is the one that is my preference. If I could only buy one kind of brisket ever, it would be a Creekstone. To me, it is the perfect balance between the Wagyu and then the stuff we get at the usual grocery stores. I'm very fortunate that Chorizo San Manuel and Aguilar Meats both down here carry the Creekstone brisket, so I don't have to order them online. How long have we been on? A long time. Oh my gosh, we started like at 7:20, 7:30. It's almost 9:30. It's been a couple hours. Sorry, guys. But thanks for hanging out with us, man. We're going to probably check off here, sign off here in just a little bit. Mr. Rigby, thank you. Appreciate that. Stumbled across my channel looking for Franklin's barbecue. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that, sir. Try those beans. They will be amazing. I promise you will like them. Chuck roast burn in. That is something that we are actually planning to make. Some chuck roast. Poor man's brisket, man. We're going to make a video about that, mainly just because they're great, man. I've cooked a bunch of chuck steaks out here this year, this last few months. And there ain't nothing wrong with that, bro. That is some good eating right there. It really is. Yes, William, I've done Santa Maria style barbecue. I've done it all pretty often. It's good stuff, man. And again, it depends on what you mean by style. But yeah, to me, that just means open fire cooking. I don't have a grill that raises and lowers the grate on the fire, except for the hasty bake, but it is not a Santa Maria style unless you leave the lid open. It still works. But anyway, Trumpet, thanks for hanging out with us, man. Appreciate it, brother. Plans for brisket seasoning. And not yet. We're just trying to get it done, man. If we can get it out, it will definitely be in the barbecue store as soon as we can get it out. No, I don't think so, Alex. Brined, wet or dry, then smoked. I prefer a brine turkey all day long. And you brine a turkey, it's just going to be amazing. It really always is. I've injected them, I've brined them, I've cooked them without either. Brined is the way to go when it comes to turkey, in my opinion. Meet and greet. That would be fun, man. Where at, Gary? Judge Wet Barbecue, LA, 8 Trumpet. Later. Have I built an ugly drum smoker? No, I have not built them. I've built a lot of pits in the past, but never actually built a drum smoker. And they're fairly inexpensive to buy. So I mean, if I can save myself the time and the work, I'll just buy them and let somebody make a little bit of money. It's a win-win deal. That's funny, Alex. I seen a brisket with beef wagyu tallow as a binder. It looks awesome. No, I haven't used it as a binder, but I've put it in the wrap. I've tried it off and on. I think it's overrated, but that's just me. If you have a good prime brisket, you don't need the tallow, man. You really don't. But if you like it and it makes your brisket better, hey, man, more power to you. Ain't no right way, wrong way. You guys see me say that all the time. Ain't no right way, ain't no wrong way. Do what works for you and be happy with it. Hello from Dallas, Chavez. Thank you for hanging out with us. Appreciate it. Joel, thank you for the nice words. Appreciate that. I don't plan to go to California anytime real soon, but that could change next year. You just never know. We have a wedding in Oregon in January. They were thinking about going to. I don't think we're going to make it, to be honest with you. That's a long ways from the Rio Grande Valley, man. Uh, barrel is $15 all day. All right, guys. We've been on here a couple hours. Um, how many? I'm going to answer one or two more questions and I'm done. I'm already starting to get hoarse from my voice. I didn't realize I've been talking so long. How many years experience do I have barbecuing? Never really stopped to count, Bobby, but I started barbecuing with my dad when I was little. So, I mean, helping him. So, if that counts, it's probably about 50 years, or a little better. And then I started cooking, in the backyard at home when I got married. That's 40 years right there. So, yeah, I've been cooking barbecue a long time, man. I've had all kinds of pits and trailers and smokers and open fire grills, you name it, cooked on the ground. We've pretty much done it all over the years, and it's all good. I enjoy cooking every kind of way. Y'all know I'm a fan of pellet grills, open fire pits, pipe grills, uh, any kind of barbecue cooking. I'm a fan of. I think that you find what works for you and what you can afford, what's in your budget, depending on what you cook the most. That helps select your cooker and just enjoy what you do, man. Just enjoy what you do. All right, man, Arizona. We're gonna do some smoking and beer drinking this weekend. That's for sure, man. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and shut her down for today. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Really, really enjoyed it very much. The smoked turkey video tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Y'all be looking for it. It's gonna premiere. I'll be there. If guys have any questions at that time, I'll be happy to answer for you guys. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for getting us to those 100,000 subscribers. Tell your friends, tell your families to subscribe to Arnie Tech. That really does help the channel a lot, and it helps us continue to grow. And that allows us to continue to bring you more content, whether it's barbecue or kitchen cooking or breakfast tacos or whatever, man. We're going to be doing some more breakfast videos, putting those in the shorts here in the very near future. So, y'all stay tuned. We got a lot more to share with you guys. Thanks a lot for hanging out with us, guys. We're going to go ahead and shut it down for the night. Y'all remember to keep the smoke light and make it work. And have a wow kind of day. Boom. Good night, everybody. Love you guys.